Hello, hello. I am Tyler, and today I am going to become an Axiom expert. Okay, maybe that's a little ambitious. Probably not going to become an expert today, but I am going to learn how to use the Axiom mod so that I can plan out some of my builds here on this survival server that I've been playing on with my friends to clean up my storage. So let's take a walk through the start of my city here, and we get over here to my storage area, which is very embarrassing that it's been like this since day one when we started this world in June of 2024 when 1.21 first came out, and now it is January 2025 and it still looks like this. I have improved. This used to just be a crazy mess of just random blocks, which it still very much is. You see, I have some signs where I've started to organize some things. It's also so dark because it's nighttime. Let me steal this person's bed. Don't mind the farmer sleeping on the park bench. It's fine. I promise we have plenty of housing. They just like to sleep there because it's a closer bed, I think. You can see I've started to kind of organize. Like, this is my potions and explosives. Here's where I've started actually organizing some things. So I have different categories like wood. These are all the wood blocks. Spruce, acacia, the new pale oak even. So I've started to organize, but this is obviously very ugly. Just being here, I can't build buildings here, which I'd like to put some more buildings, but there are shulkers in the way. So that's why I'm going to learn the Axiom mod, so I can make a storage place and clean up this mess on the server. Look, I have more random shit over here, more random blocks here, some empty shulkers. It's a mess. This is my under construction train station, coming soon. But I need to build a storage building so that I can put all my crap somewhere, clean up my city. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now that it's pouring rain and spooky outside, I'm going to clean up this mess here and that mess over there and make a storage building. So I live in Los Angeles, and we have Grand Central Market, which is downtown in an old historic building. And it's basically like a big old, I think it was like a department store originally or something. But now it's like this big open market with a bunch of stalls that are just different restaurants or different shops or whatever. So I got inspired by that concept to make a storage building that has a bunch of different stalls to store different blocks. So I've watched a few Axiom videos, but I have not really used it yet. So I know that this over here in the right of my like hotbar is an Axiom tool. How do I see the other tools? I think it's like Alt. Oh, no, that. Look at all these tools. Okay. Clone, stack, smear, extrude, erase, move. Okay. Let's start simple and get some blocks. I want to just use basically like one color block that has a lot of different variants. So I'm thinking maybe sandstone, because it gives me a slab, stairs, wall. I can also use like birch fences, because I don't want to start with details. I want to start with just the very basic structure and kind of start building with big shapes and then kind of fine tune later, and then add the kind of texture and the details and all that later. Okay, these are some references from, this is the Sears Roebuck and Company mail order building in Los Angeles. And I kind of like that basic structure with like a tower-ish structure in the middle. It's not a super tall tower. It's slightly taller than the rest of the building, but I kind of like that. It looks kind of simple. It looks like it'll be a good first project to learn Axiom. So to start, I guess I want to build a block there. And let's see. extrude? Oh, expand, okay. Oh, that did two, oh. Okay. Oh, it does it based on the block that I click on. Okay, and I can undo, which is wonderful. So maybe extrude is not the tool that I want. What is stack do? Okay, first point here. Second point over there. Confirm. Oh, okay, I see what it's doing. So let's see. That extended just this one block because I only had a block there. Everywhere here, when I did my first point and my second point, over here there's just air. So it can't stack anything. So if I come back this way, these two blocks here should fill in, but nothing else because, right, it was just air. Okay. That makes sense. Let me get out of this tool and start over. One block. I'm gonna figure this out. I promise. Oh, Jesus, okay. So I don't want to stack. I want to... Can I smear that way? Oh yeah, okay, so smearing is what I want to do. Okay, so let's see. First point. Can I make second point the same? Okay, I can't. Okay, cool. So with that, let's see. I'm gonna do one block here. I'm going to smear. I want this to be the first and second point. So I see the size. How wide do I want this building to be? Let's start with 23. Okay, I've been trying this out for a little while. You could see there's some dirt blocks and a single line of sandstone behind me. That's all I've gotten so far. But I forgot, if I do, I think it's right shift, I open up this menu, which is, I think, going to be better for me. So I think I want a shape. I want like a rectangle or like a cube. So I'm gonna, again, kind of ignore that and just start over again. Let's see, how do I make painter, noise painter, biome? Look at all of this stuff we can do. Shape. Solid. I'm gonna make a cuboid. I want hollow here. Okay, yes, I want it to be hollow. I don't want solid sandstone. Active block, I want to make that sandstone, smooth sandstone. So I play around with this tool a little bit here. Did I really learn how to use it? Kinda. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, so you can see me kind of flailing around a little bit trying to figure out how to use the tool, and you can kind of see I'm working on that rough overall shape of that building from earlier. But really I'm just kind of clicking buttons and seeing what does what, hoping I get it to somewhat resemble the references I'm going for. Okay, so I've been playing around a little bit and I have this, but I realized I've been trying to figure out the exterior of this building for so long, when really the most important thing for this build specifically is the interior and how functional it's going to be. I was inspired by this map here. This is a Dungeons and Dragons map that was created by Darkest Maps on Patreon. And I really like how this is the front door and there's kind of one pathway that takes you through the whole building all the way to the end. But along the path, you can go up here to this, what looks like a dining area. You could stop here at the kitchen, another area with seating and tables. You go up a level. Now you're on this sort of seating area, I guess, a living room with couches. You go up another level and then you're up at the bedrooms. So it's kind of like a determined pathway that takes you through the whole building, and it's on multiple levels, which I really liked. So I'm going to cut in a time lapse of me trying to figure out the rough layout of the interior, and then I'll jump back and kind of explain what's going on, what my idea is, and how I'm gonna finish the build. Okay, here I go trying to start doing this layout interior. I liked that D&D map that I was talking about before, but one thing that I didn't want this build to have was in the D&D map, you basically had one way that you walked, and then you had to kind of retrace your steps back the way you came to get back to the exit. I was inspired a little bit by IKEA store layouts where you have to do one big sort of loop through the entire store, through every section, just to get back to the exit. So that's kind of what I did here. You can see me using these glazed terracotta arrow blocks to kind of make one sort of loop through the whole building that'll take you to each one of the little shops, and then eventually back exiting the same way you came in without having to retrace your steps. So here we are. Let's go through a quick little walkthrough. Obviously the exterior is still not done. I have some kind of temporary walls here just to figure out what we're doing, but let's kind of dive in. So I've used these terracotta blocks, what are they called? Glazed terracotta, to kind of show you the path that you're supposed to go. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you look at it, but these red wool here kind of signifies where, and the red flooring signifies where a little shop is going to be. So this is going to be basically one item is going to be sold in a little tiny shop here, like a little market stall basically. And then you're going to go up here. There's going to be some decorations, I'm sure, but this is basically just a hallway. There's going to be another little shop here. Now that we're up on this level, you go around the corner over here, another shop. You'll notice every time we go up a level, there's one shop on that level. So this shop is here. It's a little bit bigger than the other two, but then to get to another shop, you either have to go up and continue or back down to a different level. So this level has this shop here. You follow here. This shop up here is one of the bigger ones. It's on its own level, and then you go back up. This is another shop. You go down a little bit. I think this is the largest shop. Yeah, this is the largest. And then finally you get down to the exit. So here from kind of a top-down path, you can see you go this way, you go along, down here, and then you go back out basically where you started. So now I'm going to try to take this shell of a layout, maybe mix it with this original shell of a exterior that I had. I was trying to add some detail to the shape, but you could see I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing with the interior, so I was getting a little stuck. Now I know what I'm doing with the interior layout wise. Now I can build an exterior to go along with it and then start on details. So now I'm going to put an exterior on this shell down below, and I will come back to detail. And with that, I'm going to call this building done. Enough. I could spend hours and hours going through and detailing even more, and I probably will eventually, but I want to get it done and built in my survival world. So I'm going to call this done enough for now. I still have not finished the interior, so that will come in another video. But overall, I pretty much learned how to use Axiom. I'm still very rusty at it, and there's still a lot I need to learn, but this is definitely a good first project, I'd say. Thank you so much for watching, and stick around to see me build this in survival.